Thank you, Dennis, André, and Eric. Thank you so much for inviting me to say a few words on your exhibition. Your beautiful dance, your pas de deux. I really think, I'm amazed. It's a jaw-dropping exhibition. Congratulations to start with. When Zeus decided to bring mortals into the world, he first gave the job to Prometheus, meaning forward thinker. But Prometheus decided to pass on the job to his brother, his twin brother, Epimetheus, meaning backward thinker, who was his double and his opposite, and known as the god of forgetting. Epimetheus began his task successfully, giving animals their qualities and distributed them in a way such that nature would be balanced and stable. But when it came to giving humans their qualities, however, he realized that he had forgotten to reserve some of them, and there were no qualities left. So Prometheus covers up for his brother by stealing fire from Zeus's workshop and gives it to humans. Humans are created then from forgetfulness and theft. What it means for us is that because we are never endowed with any qualities of our own, we are perpetually trying to create qualities for ourselves by the use of fire, with our skill, and art with techniques. So, whereas animals live in a stable equilibrium, settled in their position in the world, humans are forever lost in the fire-born images that they make of themselves. In order to survive as technical beings, humans fabricate tools, prostheses, language, and art that give us hope and purpose. It was with techniques, with our tools and prostheses, that we began to have a cultural memory and historical consciousness, and began our process of compensating and forgetting the original loss that Epimetheus cast upon us. It is with techniques that we are able to take distance from ourselves and imagine ourselves in the future as post-humans. Anne Catherine Hales, postmodern literary critic, most notable for her contribution to the fields of science and electronic literature, understands human and post-human as constructions that emerge from historically specific understandings of technology, culture, and embodiment. Within this framework, human is aligned with Enlightenment notions of liberal humanism, including its emphasis on the natural self and the freedom of the individual. Post-human does away with the notion of a natural self and emerges when human intelligence is conceptualized as being co-produced with intelligent machines. According to Hales, the post-human view privileges information over materiality, considers consciousness as an epiphenomenon, and imagines the body as a prosthesis for the mind. She suggests that in the post-human view, there are no essential differences or absolute demarcations between bodily existence and computer simulation. According to Hales, the post-human thus emerges as a deconstruction of the liberal humanist notion of human. Now, the visual arts have always been an integral part of just about any cultural or social movement, sometimes following, sometimes being at the forefront of innovative philosophical thought. Some half a millennium later, after the Renaissance, after the 18th century Enlightenment, after rationalism and empiricism, modernism and postmodernism, another school of thought is taking the spotlight, altogether different, but still following patterns established long ago. Rejecting the previous anthropological universals, Post-humanism tries to detach itself from a restrictively human perspective, instead trying to remain fluid and manifest the individual thought through different identities. This sort of malleability makes it particularly attractive to contemporary artists who hope to explore points of view beyond their own, beyond their personal and ideological views, or even identities as members of the human race. Addressing questions of ethics and justice, social systems and language, as well as our place in the giant puzzle that is the cosmos, they don't so much offer answers, but ask questions. André, Clements and Duplan don't offer answers. Their practice is located between science, technology and art. Aware of the fact that human nature is far from constant, that it is ever evolving, both as a means of expression as well as a way of understanding. Although their art is the result of hours and hours of work, of meticulous attention to detail, one gets the impression that their emphasis is more on looking at art than on creating art, more what is expected of the viewer than what the artist offers on view. They present us with a challenge and invites us to a dialogue instead of reciting a monologue. They offer us a circular relation between observer and the observed. After all, we can only perceive what our systemic organization permits us to perceive. There is not a world unconnected from us. We live interconnected in our urban skins. In Duplan's paintings, technological, social, and engineers' systems of thinking have been deconstructed into a grid that seemingly holds our fragile world together. Human form and nature have been transmuted into a symbolic language of compressed signs, comprehensible only as they are embedded in layers of paint. And at the same time, these abstractions read as topographical panels, as the mapping of thousands of journeys, as scarring left on surfaces like parchment or skin, dark, looming palimpsests of history, conjuring cities of absent civilizations. Both artists share the preoccupation with surfaces in their attempt to detach themselves from a restrictively human perspective, instead trying to remain fluid and manifest the individual thought through different identities. Their surfaces are layered as proverbial onion skins. Peel away one layer and you're presented with yet another. Clements employs the techniques of the digital world to allow distance and imagine ourselves in the future with the emergent properties of the play between records of supposedly reality and the extensive layering process. In his quest for painterly qualities, he creates a broader palette of possibilities and opens up different ways of working with identities, relationships, and narratives. In his photography, he does away with the notion of a natural self and conceptualizes human intelligence as being co-produced with intelligent machines. Clements privileges information over materiality, considers consciousness as an epiphenomenon, and imagines the body as a prosthesis for the mind. In the process, he posits meaning as unstable and furtive. In the interrogation of ethics and justice, social systems and language, techniques and art, Clements and Duplan focus the attention to something that matters enough to be engaged with, to be cared about. And care is the seed of kindness, as they suggest in their catalogue. The care and kindness applied to a material, gesture, interpretation, intervention, or indulgence in a work of art inevitably invites extending that attention, that care, to subject and environment as well. From this point of view, art is perhaps the realization of kindness. That, to my mind, is the basis of all justice and the heart of all ethical considerations. They employ their fire-born images in order to survive as technical beings, and they offer us a glimpse of what it is to take distance from ourselves and imagine ourselves in the future, to remain fluid and manifest ourselves as individuals by means of different identities. André, congratulations with the beautiful exhibition, as delicately constructed as it is, though thought-provoking. In years to come, you will be acknowledged as trailblazers, as spoorsnijers of the present and of the future. Thank you.